Alright, thanks for watching. Here are my thoughts about student loan forgiveness. To clarify, I'm not talking about if somebody joins the military and the military pays off their student loans. That's different than every student or former student in the whole country having their debt eliminated. If somebody joins the military and their debt is paid, that is them in exchange. They're giving something. If somebody gets their university debt forgiven because they are teaching in a school no one wants to teach in, or teaching in an inner city, or something like that, they are doing something, there's an exchange. I'm talking about students doing nothing, no work, no risking of anything. Like in your military, you risk World War III breaks out, you're going. Hopefully World War III doesn't break out, but that's why somebody who joins the military and gets their debt forgiven is giving something. They're doing something. They're volunteering themselves to be the first, the army. And the army is there in case of war, to be sent to war. I say it is a bad idea to have massive student loan forgiveness. It's bad morally for society to encourage lying, or at least people not trying to keep their obligations. Some people might be signing up for student loans hoping there will be a forgiveness because it's talked about so much. Such a person is a bad person. They're lying if they're signing up for a student loan hoping for a massive forgiveness, or signing up for not planning to pay it back. And if we're encouraging lying in that, we shouldn't complain too much if people lie about other things. And these students with student loan debt, they are adults, and they were adults when they got into it. If there's some prodigy that graduated when they're 16 years old, well, if you graduated before you were an adult from high school, then you should be smart enough and mature enough to be treated like an adult and have to pay stuff back. Maybe I will look at it different if you can find somebody who took up $50,000 worth of student loan debt, or $20,000, because somebody promised to kill them, threatened to kill them, or their family, or their dog if they didn't take that debt. I doubt there's anybody in the whole country who has student loan debt because somebody threatened to kill them or their family if they did not get in debt. And that student loan debt is not, they don't need to have that debt. There are many people who got their degrees without getting any debt, or paid off their debt. You people with student loan debt, hey, you got it now. You didn't need to do that. There are people who, they made sacrifices to avoid debt. They worked summers, they worked part-time while they were going to university. Their parents drove used cars so they could help the child with the student loan debt that was paying for school. They graduated. They never went on an expensive European vacation or something like that to save money so they could get that student loan debt paid off. They drove used cars. They graduated university and waited to buy a big house for a few years and saved money in small apartments to pay off their debt. There's a wide variety of things that people have done so that they graduate without debt, or so that they graduate with small debt and they get that debt paid off. And since there are people who have done that, that proves that people do not need to have the debt, that people can pay off the debt. And so that's that proof that people can pay off the debt shows that the other people who should pay off their debt. And what if their degree is not earning them money? Go back to the first point about adults making choices. If you did not get a degree in nursing education, so you could be a school teacher, engineering, computer programming, something that would get you money. You did that to yourself. I don't owe you. Society doesn't owe you. If you got a degree that never was going to possibly translate into a middle class job or career. And so, any of you calling for student debt forgiveness? Do we send checks to the people who paid off their debt? They spend that money at university too. They're owed the same as everybody else that went to university, if anybody is owed just because they went to a university. It's a slap in the face of those responsible people if irresponsible people get rewarded. It's bad for the economy if we forgive student loan debt. If these loans are from banks, the banks are going to be hurt. And that they might have to go out of business. They might have to charge higher interest rates on their other loans that aren't student loans to make up for the loss in student loans. People's savings might be lost if some of these banks that made the loans are a full-fledged bank with savings accounts too, and they go under. To the degree that these loans are made directly by the government or guaranteed by the government, we have enormous national debt and national deficits. We can't afford it. We've got big problems already without adding millions of dollars in student loans onto it. Alright, so now you know. I think it's a bad idea to forgive student loan debt because it's adults that chose to get into those debts. They didn't need to. It can be paid off. It's bad for the economy. And you have a good day. Thanks for watching.